Hey guys, this is Mainly Watches and I'm Captain Nick. By popular request, today, the long-awaited elastic watch strap showdown. Now, over the past couple of episodes, I have done some reviews on Erika's Originals MN strap, Nick Mankey Designs Chronogrip elastic strap, the Watch Steward, specifically his TDM G series, and I've also thrown in a few times the knockoff strap that you can get off of Amazon or AliExpress. But a couple of you guys have asked me to do a compilation and do a showdown of all these different straps. These are all elastic straps. Prices range from over $100 for the Erikas down to $15, maybe even less for some of the cheap knockoffs. So this is not scripted, and I've thought long and hard how to do this because these straps all have their own place, and indeed in my collection I've got a bunch of Erikas, I've got a bunch of Watch Stewards, and I have quite a few Nick Mankeys. I've only got the one knockoff, and I'm just going to use this for demonstration purposes. I honestly don't use it. So I'm just going to cut to the chase here and tell you right now, there is no clear winner. I think there is room for all of these straps in your collection, and although these are all elastic straps, I think they do serve their own different purposes and suit different type of watches. And I will explain a little more about that as we go. So we've got first here, we've got the Erika's Originals MN strap. I have the Nick Mankey Designs Chronogrip on this Tudor Pelagos. On this San Martin, we have the Watch Steward G series strap, and then on this Sanguine Instruments I have the knockoff strap. So we're going to take a look at these, and I'll give you my honest thoughts about how they work or don't work on a specific type of watch. Now, let me just start out by saying Erika's Originals, the most expensive of the bunch. These are premium straps. They're going to run $100 and up. One of the nice things with Erika's is that she does do full customization. Her straps are all ordered. They are cut to size. She has a lot of different colors available on them and a lot of hardware options. You can see on this Grand Seiko, I've got one of her limited edition clasps. That's a great wave strap, and you can even see it's numbered even. Number 111 out of 200. But you do pay big money for these. And you know, it is befitting of a high quality watch like the Grand Seiko. And this is a heavy watch, and these straps are very structured. And you can see when I try to stretch it here, it's a very stiff strap. This is not a strap you can just slip the watch over your wrist and put it on without unlatching it. You've got to unlatch the strap. The finishing, though, is first rate. The hardware on all the Erika straps is beautiful, and when I talk about different hardware options, I'll show you. I've got one of her straps here with bronze. I use this on my Rado Captain Cook, which is a bronze watch, and it is already patinaed to a lovely color. And this is beautifully done. I mean, gorgeous bronze finishing on here. Some of her straps, she's also got, this is black, this is a DLC hardware on here. This watch actually, this strap I use quite a lot on the Sanjin. So this strap actually lives normally on the Sanjin. But for today's purposes, I've put the Sanjin on a different strap. So yeah, a lot of different hardware options with Erika's. And as I say, it is a premium strap, but very rigid. I will show you how this wears. Now, the Erika straps are a little bit, they take some getting used to put on. And you can see when I go to latch it, you'll kind of develop your own technique. I mean, I can do it pretty quickly now, but at first it was challenging. But these straps are very robust. And you can see there's not a lot of give to it, but This Grand Seiko is a big heavy watch and it controls it beautifully. And you can see it does not add a lot of thickness. The hardware on here in particular is very flush sitting to the wrist, so it does not add a lot of bulk, and they're comfortable straps. Now, I do have to say, there is no taper on these. So, and this goes for all of these elastic straps. These are all true to the lug width of the watch. So this is a 22 and it's a straight 22. So you want to keep that in mind with all of these elastic straps. There is no taper. So I'm going to say, in my humble opinion, the Erika straps, being the most rigid of the bunch, are most suited for your heavier weight watches. And by heavier weight, I would say watches where you have a case over 120 grams. So pretty substantial watches. I think Erika's tends to control them the best. And they are, it is, as I say, it's a robust fabric. Now, Nick Mankey designs. This is the Nick Mankey Chronogrip. You can see there is quite a lot of folds in the fabric here. These straps are quite stretchy. I mean, you can see there's a lot more stretch to it than when I compare it to the Erikas. This one has polished titanium hardware on it, and of course this is a titanium watch. One of the nice things with the Nick Mankey designs is that once you've got it all set up, and this is his hook strap, you can just slip it right over your wrist. And boom, it's very easy to put on. You're not messing around with the latches. The only downside here is there is quite a lot of folds and it adds some bulk to it. Now, his hook does have a curve to it, as you can see, so it does conform a bit to your wrist. I could probably tighten this up. This is a little bit slack right now. One of the things with these Nick Mankey designs, and I'll just pull this off and show you, there is quite a bit of adjustability here. So there are two ways you can adjust it. First off is here on the side of the grip. You can pull the fabric through it and adjust the length this way. Or on this end, you can pull the loop through it a little. And if you make the loop a little longer, it will tighten up the strap. So they have more adjustment on these, but it is a little more fiddly. The nice thing with the Nick Mankey design is that it leaves the bottom of your watch free, so it's not sitting on top of a strap. So it does offer a clean look, and these are super, super soft. But as I say, there is quite a bit more stretch to it. Now, and this is just my humble opinion, guys, I think the Nick Mankey is a fantastic strap for your medium watches, maybe even medium to heavy weight. And by a medium weight watch, I'm going to say anything, say 80 to 120 grams. It works really well on this Pelagos because this is full titanium watch, and despite it being large and fairly thick, the watch is actually quite lightweight. So this added elasticity here doesn't interfere with the wearing experience. Now, I do have an Erika's that I use on this watch, and I've worn this watch a lot on this MN strap, and it is a beautiful strap, but it is obviously, it's a much more robust strap. I do not find the watch as comfortable on the MN strap as I do on the Nick Mankey. So yeah, in this case, I think the Nick Mankey design is the most comfortable of them, but it is not the most elegant in terms of all the hardware. But it certainly certainly works nice with the Erikas, but it's a little bit too stiff and not as comfortable. And with this lightweight watch, you can get away with this really soft fabric. And you can see how soft it is compared to the Erikas. This is a much tougher fabric. So I think medium weight watches, the Nick Mankey is an excellent option. Moving on, we've got Watch Steward. Now, these are made in the US. So are Nick Mankey's, by the way. I think Watch Steward is made out in Georgia, and Nick Mankey Designs is out in the West Coast, California, I believe. I've got this on a lightweight San Martin, and very nice. This has a little more structure to it than the Nick Mankey. It's not nearly as structured as the Erika's, but it is structured. This watch strap also has the least amount of hardware, and you can see the only hardware here is the G-hook. That's it. The rest is stitched. So these work really nice on thin watches. If I have one sort of complaint with the Watch Steward straps is that the hardware is a little bit, it's on the low rent side. I mean, you can see how the stainless is finished on here. It's fine, but it's not a high-end strap. I've got another Watch Steward here with the black hardware. I believe it's a black oxide coating that they're using. And it certainly looks nice, but it's not anywhere near sort of the quality that you get with the DLC finishes. So in terms of wearing comfort, I love these. And I own a ton of these straps because they are so comfortable. I'm a big fan of his TDM fabric, which is sort of a mid-weight fabric. And again, this is a strap that you don't even need to unlatch. You can just slip it right over your wrist. And super, super comfy. These work wonderful on lighter weight watches. And you can see how this hardware, very nice, doesn't add a lot of bulk. The clasp does tend to stick up a little, I think because of how it's folded. I don't know if the camera can capture it, but it does stick up a little. It's generally not a problem. Sometimes it'll catch on things, but yeah, very comfortable wearing straps. And again, you can see with these, simple adjustment. You've only got the strap. You can adjust the length on the keeper, or on the hook, sorry. And this one I've actually already cut it down a little. He will cut them to size for you when you order them, but you can also just cut them and burn them off yourself, so you don't have a lot of additional fabric built up in there. So very nice strap, very simple straps. He has some good colors, basic colors, not a ton of different colorways. I don't think he's got anything too fancy with a lot of different stripes and colors, but just very clean, simple. So I'm going to say the Watch Steward straps, particularly the TDM with his G-hook design, work very well on lighter weight watches. And for our purposes, I'm going to say anything up to 80 grams. Quartz watches like the Sanjin, which is a very light watch, and the San Martin is also quite light. I like the Watch Stewards, and I wear the Watch Stewards a lot. This particular green strap here, actually, I got for the Sanjin, and I like it on the Sanjin. Then, last but not least, I've got the knockoff strap, and this is something you can pick up off of Amazon for under $15. You can see it is very similar design to the Erika's original. Just put the Erika's here so you can compare them. And obviously it is a knockoff of how the Erika's Hook series straps work. However, and there's a big however, fabric on here, this is very, very stretchy, as you can see. Super, super stretchy. Very little structure to it. It is also kind of slippery. And this does cause the inadvertent problem with these cheaper straps that the adjustment slider tends to slide too easily on them. And I found that when I've tried using this watch that I constantly having to readjust it because it has slipped. So here it is on my wrist. and it wears very nicely. Certainly does the job. Like I say, these are about $15. There are lots of different brands selling them, and you can pick them up on eBay, Amazon, AliExpress. They're just a cheap off-the-shelf elastic strap. It's not bad, honestly. It is a very stretchy strap, though, and like I say, the biggest problem I've had with it is just that the slider tends to inadvertently move on it, and yeah, they're not the most refined. The metal on here is a little thin, and yeah, it's, I mean, if I put it up to the Erikas, you can see the metal on the Erikas is quite a lot heavier gauge. It's just a different animal. So yeah, I honestly don't recommend these really cheap straps unless you're just wanting something that you can use with work and don't mind if it gets trashed. But like I said, I just picked this up for demonstration purposes, and I have worn it. I just, yeah, I don't, not, it just feels really tinny. It's the best way to describe it. So we'll leave that out because we're really talking about the more premium offerings here. So again, you know, as I say, if we look at them in terms of price, Erika's definitely the most expensive, $100 and up, but most options for customization. You can get all kinds of different hardware, bronze, black DLC, and I mean, the Erikas, they are just a classic. One of my favorite combinations here is the Erika's MN on my Doxa. And now I've got this sub 750T on the Beads of Rice at the moment, but it's seen a lot of wear on this MN strap. And I've actually got an orange one with a black stripe, and then I've got the black and orange, which I like to wear. This is a 20-year-old Doxa. It is my absolute favorite watch, and yeah, it's seen a lot of wear, but this MN, it's kind of classic. And the Doxas, not only the big ones like the sub 750, but even the smaller ones, the sub 300s that I have, they wear beautifully with these MN straps. So if you have a Doxa, I would definitely recommend go with the MN. But, you know, the moral of the story here is there is not any one right strap, and a lot of this is going to be trial and error. To sort of summarize it, I think for your big heavy watches, you're not going to go wrong with the Erika's originals. These work very well for your heavy watches. Your mid-weight watches, where you want something that's going to be as soft and comfy as a pair of gym socks, and you don't have a really heavy watch head to control, I think the Mankey design works very nicely, and I have to say on this Tudor Pelagos, the comfort on the Mankey design exceeds the comfort with the Erikas. The Erikas is almost too structured for it. And then on the lighter weight watches, you've definitely got the Watch Steward. The pricing on the Watch Stewards, about $25. Mankey running around 50, Erika is 100, and then the cheapest one here, 15. So quite a spread in pricing, 100, 50, 25, 15 and under. But as I say, I don't think there is any one right solution. I think there is a place for all of these straps to coexist, and as I've found, owning quite a few of each, that's the case. And you know, like I said, for my premium watches that are heavy, I like the Erikas. And of course, well, the Tudor, it's a premium watch for sure. But the lighter weight case, I think the Mankey works brilliantly with it. A heavier watch like a Tudor Black Bay, I'd probably look at an Erika, but definitely the Mankey will work. And then your lighter weight watches, I think you can't go wrong with the Watch Steward. And in terms of value, at $25, I think Watch Steward straps are absolutely brilliant. I love them. and I do own a whole bunch of these. Now, I do wear some of these Watch Steward straps on my Doxes as well, and they absolutely work very nicely on the Doxes, especially the smaller ones like the sub 300. These actually control the watch very well. So yeah, light to medium weight watches, you can definitely get away with a Watch Steward strap. The cheap knockoffs, I'd say stay away from them, guys. You're probably just wasting your money on them. But so anyway, I hope this kind of helped answer the questions, and I'm sorry to say that there is not a clear winner here, but you know, there isn't. I really think, and I mean this in all honesty, if you're going to try out these elastic straps, give them all a try, be open to them. And you know, if you're kind of on the fence about dropping the money on the Erikas, don't be afraid to pick one up on like eBay secondhand. Typically they go for around 50% of what they go new. I mean, all of these straps, you can just wash them, so it's not an issue. Just throw them in a bucket of hot soapy water and you can wash the strap. So yeah, I think there's a place for all of these in your collection. Erika's the most customization, the most structured of the straps. It's definitely a very structured, stiff fabric, but this really holds your heavy watches very well. The Nick Mankey designs, very nice. Comfortable strap, super comfy, but a little bit bulky in terms of all the material and folds, and I would have to say I like them, but he doesn't have a lot of different colors, and availability can be kind of tricky too with Nick Mankey designs, and if you custom order a strap, you can be waiting a couple months. Watch Steward, he's very fast. Typically, when I've ordered them, they get shipped out within 1 or 2 days, so no issues at all there with Watch Steward straps. And Erika's, yeah, you can buy them from Holben's here in the US, and he ships them out pretty quick. Or if you want to custom order it and have any sort of customizations done, you can order them off of Erika's website. If you guys want to see my full reviews on each of these straps, I'll put up a link at the end to my watch strap and bracelet sort of compilation, so you can see the different reviews. I have done the Erikas, the Nick Mankey, and the Watch Steward. I've done separate reviews on each. This was just to give you guys sort of a one-on-one with all of the different straps and how they wear and what I think of them. And you know, like I said, I think there's a place for all of these straps, and they don't really compete with each other. It's not that one is any much better than the other. I think there's a place for all of these, depending on your budget and the style of watch you have. But you know, there's, you know, like I said, I've got a couple of each, so. You know, anyhow, I've rambled on enough. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. It doesn't cost you a penny, and it helps me out with the analytics. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Again, it doesn't cost you anything. So, till next week, guys, stay safe out there, and I'll be back on the next Friday with another video. Thanks for watching.